Good day, everyone! Before we dive into today's discussion, take a look at the image on the screen. It features the cast of the classic British sitcom Mind Your Language. This show hilariously highlighted the challenges and often humorous misunderstandings that occurs when people from different countries try to master English. Today, we are going to explore those exact challenges. Our topic is centered on analyzing the diverse linguistic needs of the different characters and creating specific strategies to help them effectively communicate in English. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
For our first character, we have Ali Nadim. Ali Nadim is a Pakistani Muslim who is currently unemployed, but he used to work at a restaurant. His linguistic needs is that he has a very strong accent and that he mispronounces English words such as hoping to hopping and enrolled to unrolled. The interventions that we could use to help his linguistic needs is that we can focus on the English sounds that are not present on their native language. This is aligned in the behaviorist theory. And in the strategy that we can use, we can do a consistent practice of Ali Nadim listening to a native English speaker. He will record the words, he will record himself speaking the words and repeat them until he pronounces the words smoothly. Next, we have Max. Max is a Greek from Athens who works on a cruise ship. His linguistic needs is that he needs to improve his English speaking skills and he needs to learn his homophones. The intervention that we can do to help him with his linguistic needs is that we can guide him, help him to differentiate words that are spelled differently but pronounced similarly, such as new, as in N-E-W, and new, K-N-E-W, or ship, as in the animal, and ship, as in the cruise ship. And this theory is aligned in the theory of Russian, the input hypothesis. And the strategy that we can use is that we can do charades or we can do sentence writing, which would help him differentiate the words.
One Cervantes. Characteristics: Spanish bartender. Linguistic needs: can speak or understand any language. Intervention: start with the basics, focus on phonology and transition. Theory: behaviorism, repetition drills, input hypothesis, and cognitive theory. Strategy: use pattern practice with basic English words until memorized and understand them. Then move on the next strategy. The next one is Giovanni Capello. Characteristic: Giovanni is from Italy and works as a chef. Linguistics needs: he needs to improve his pronunciation and learn English culinary terms which are important for his job. Possible intervention: conduct pronunciation drills and introduce vocabulary related to kitchen and cooking and able to communicate effectively in a professional context. Theory: task-based language learning fits best. This theory focuses on learning to real-life tasks, which is ideal for Giovanni work environment. The next one is strategy. Use role-play activities that simulate restaurant or kitchen scenarios, such as taking orders, explaining dishes, or giving instruction in English. This approach gives product hands-on language practices.
Up next, we have Jamila Ronja, and for her characteristics, she is from India and she is a housewife. So for her linguistic needs, she needs to learn more about basic English for everyday communication, such as the basic sight words in which we commonly see when we make use of English language. So for interventions that are needed, so she needs to learn about simple vocabulary and practice proper sentence structures. So for the theory that is appropriate for her, so first is behaviors theory, because through behaviors theory she can learn through repetition. And second, cognitive theory, get because we can organize the learning materials for her to learn English more efficiently. And input theory, with a theory that suggested I plus 1. So strategy, so making use of visual aids for vocabulary and repetition drills, so such as just as what we discussed a while ago with the cognitive theory. So making use of visual aids or learning materials to for her to learn more efficiently. Up next, for sixth character, his name is Ranjit Singh. So for his characteristics, he is from Pakistan and his religion is Sikh. So Mr. Ranjit works as a miner. So for his linguistic needs, he uses heavy accents and can't express the proper terms of what he wanted to say, such as when he said that I'm an important member of the British Underground, but actually he wanted to say that he is a miner. So for interventions, he needs to focus on the English sounds that are not commonly used in their native language. For the theory that is most probably appropriate for him is behaviorism. So Mr. Ranjit needs to have consistent practice of English to be able to use English more efficiently. For strategy that can be used for him, so he needs to listen to an English speaker, record it, and repeat the words until he can pronounce the words smoothly.
For our next character, we have Taro Nagazumi. Taro Nagazumi is a Japanese employee at Bushida Electronics. He needs to improve his business English vocabulary and is observed to take time in speaking. Our interventions will focus on pronunciation drills and practicing slightly faster speaking pace. This approach is grounded in the behaviorist theory, utilizing role play on business meetings as the primary learning strategy. Moving on, we have Anna Smith. Anna Smith is a German speaker and has a linguistic need to soften her tone as she currently speaks like she is angry. Our intervention is based on the behaviorist theory, wherein she will focus on practicing polite and softer speaking through a role play strategy, specifically having her practice selling a product. And for the next slide, it will be discussed by Ms. Saibel.
Next will be Daniel. Daniel is a French student in the class, and as a non-native speaker, her primary linguistic need is to improve her English pronunciation. Throughout the series, we notice Daniel sometimes struggles with certain English sounds, which is very common to French speakers due to differences in phonetic symbols. This can sometimes make her speech less intelligible to native speakers. To address this, our recommended intervention includes focused pronunciation practices and exercises. This would involve repetition drills and listening activities tailored to problematic sounds. The theory that aligns with this kind of intervention is behaviorism, which emphasizes learning through repetition and reinforcement. A useful strategy we came up is encouraging Danielle to practice speaking more with a partner. This conversational practice helps her gain confidence and will also be able to receive immediate feedback, enabling her to gradually reduce her accent and improve clarity. And lastly, we have here Chung Soo Lee, who is a Chinese student working as a secretary in the Chinese diplomat. Her linguistic needs are a bit different compared to Danielle's. Chung-Soo Lee tends to speak too fast and loud, which sometimes affects her speech clarity. This is a common challenge among learners who may not yet have awareness of the appropriate speech rate and volume in English conversation. With that, we recommend that Chung Soo Lee would do speech modulation exercises to help her manage her speech rate and volume. These exercises focus on making her aware of how to adjust her speaking pace and tone to be more comprehensible to the listeners. Similar to Daniel, this intervention is also grounded in behaviorist theory, which emphasizes on practice and repetition to change speech habits. A practical strategy is role playing scenarios where Chung Soo Lee practices being a polite speaker. For example, she might simulate convincing someone to buy a product, which helps her focus on clarity, politeness, and appropriate speech delivery. That is all. Thank you everyone for your attention.